Welcome back, everyone, to the next installment of Chaos Child. We somehow went through the whole waiting at the restaurant thing kind of without incident. We had a vision, but I don't think there was a real threat, even though we might have started crying blood. I don't know what to make of this, but we're going for the clinic. Hopefully it's safe there.
特に目に異常はねえな。角膜も綺麗なもんだし、血圧もほぼ正常と。
Dad nodded as he looked at me.
頭痛はするか？体のどこかが痺れるとかは？
特には。
視界の一部が欠けてたり、狭くなったりもしてないな。
うん。
そっか。なら大丈夫だ。
Don't worry, it's just psychically induced blood tears.
本当にもっとよく見て。
Kurusu was sitting next to me, worried.
さっきからそればっかだな、お前。
だって。
まぶたの裏に血管があって、稀にそれが切れることがある。ひどい緊張や興奮をして力が入ったり、踏ん張ったりするとな。覚えがないか、タグル。
I remembered the attack at Cafe Lax and shivered. I remembered? It was like 5 minutes ago. But I nodded before Dad could see.
だろ？それが原因だよ。心配ない。
Dad called up my chart on the computer, the same one he'd been using since I was in a coma. He started to type something.
おいおい、ノノ。そんなおっかない顔で睨むなって。
I mean, I know why she's stressed, but we did have psychically induced visions that caused us stress, so maybe we really did do the bloody tears thing on our own as a result of the stress. It could be a thing.
タクルに何かあったらどうする気？
わかったわかった。
Dad stopped typing and opened another page on the chart.
タグル、紹介状書いてやるから、明日また頭の中の写真撮ってこい。
でも。
いいからいいかって。可愛い娘が怒って、口聞いてくれなくなったら困るんだよ。
うん。
Dad wrote me another referral to the same hospital as before, which was finally enough to satisfy Nono.
ああ、そうだ、ノノ。
It is so rare that we refer to her as Nono. This isn't the first time, but I could probably count on one hand.
お前、自分もまだ病み上がりだってこと忘れんなよ。
あ、うん。そうね。ごめんなさい。
わかってりゃいい。
Dad smiled. Kurusu and I thanked Dad and then went up to the dining room where the rest of the group was waiting.
ああ、ウキ。私アップルティー。私も。わかりました。伊藤さんは？
コーヒー、ブラックで。
When we got to the dining room, Uki was running around getting drinks for everyone. And apparently the words for apple tea and coffee, black, are just all English. I looked at the clock and it was almost 11 p.m. There was just one more hour until October 23rd was over. Ugh, this is the moment of crisis, assuming that our timeline checks out. But then again, the texts said that they wanted more torture, so maybe the attack really is over and they just hazed us for the day. But that still implies that someone's gonna die.
で、さっき何があったのかちゃんと説明してくれるんですよね、宮代先輩。
Arimura looked at me as she sipped her apple tea. She had the same joking voice she used at school, but her eyes were serious. She seemed to have come up with her own ideas on what might have happened to me, and her eyes were as gloomy as they were when we first met.
話すよ。例のパイロキネシストのことだから。
南沢千里。
I glanced at Kurisu just for a second. I thought she wouldn't want to hear that her old friend might be a serial killer.
クルス、もし嫌なら自分の部屋に戻っててくれ。父さんかユイのところへ行っててもいいし。
ちゃんと聞かせて。
クルス、
聞きたいの。だからここにいる。
そっか。じゃあ。
I sat down in a chair at the dinner table, and after a moment's hesitation, slowly began to describe what happened to me at Cafe Lax. Yeah, this is going to be weird, because did we just never move, even though we thought we went over the counter and into the employee restroom? As I talked, the terror started to come back to me, and my hands were soon covered in a nasty sweat. I didn't want to look bad in front of everyone, but I couldn't stop my voice from shaking.
それでその後は知っての通りだ。ドアを飛び出したら外はいつも通りのカフェに戻ってた。
There was silence for a moment after I finished. And they really could have just said all with the 3 sets of ellipses. They've done that before. Alright. Arimura especially seemed to be lost in thought. That was, of course, because Senri Minamisawa was probably after me, her, or Uki. Or me. Or Serika.
殺されてたまるか。
Although, to be fair, again, if that was Senri, which I doubt it was, she could have just attacked Serika, but she didn't. So somebody's after me. Senri, I still think, is just an unrelated or barely related agent who wants the 2 of us dead. She whispered in a low voice and suddenly stuck her hand out into the air.
おい。
What, you getting the sword? Yeah. Yamazoe and I moved away, surprised. Oh yeah, because we can see it. Arimura had suddenly drawn her D-sword.
お前、何を。
決まってるでしょ。武器ですよ。
武器。
And we still have an hour. That's not a bad idea, actually.
あんたも出せるんだよね、ウキ。もしあいつが現れたら戦う。手伝いなさい。
I'm curious what Uki's looks like. Ours looks like a saber. Arimura's, I don't know what the hell. Uki's, who knows?
戦うって、私、そんな。
And then there's Senri's. I wonder if Senri has one.
いいから早く。
Uki tried to shake her head no, but when Arimura glared at her threateningly, she bit her lip. I mean, just because you're psychic doesn't mean you know about the sword and how to draw it. Look at all the victims so far. And then she reached out her hand. Well, alright. Wow, that's awesome. A giant sword appeared in her hand, too.
宮代先輩も早く。
そんなこと急に言われてもどうやって抜いたらいいかわからないんだそれ。
役に立ちませんね。
I could hear how annoyed she was. It had been a long time since I'd seen her act this cold. Yeah, what, the classroom?
ねえ、何？どうしたの？
Yeah, this must be weird for everyone else.
一体何の話してんだよ。
The others couldn't see the D-sword, all they saw was Uki and I freaking out. Or, you know, me freaking out.
私たちこの前、南沢千里に襲われました。そして今日も宮代先輩が。こんなのもう我慢できない。だから。
Arimura looked at the sword in her hands and cackled. What?
この手で事件を終わらせてやります。南沢千里を殺して。ちょっと待って。
Everyone turned to look at Kurisu. She probably knew that she was getting too emotional about the situation because she was hesitating more than I'd ever seen before.
あのね、千里が犯人って、本当のことなの？
Now, again, to be fair to the characters, as far as they're aware, they're pretty sure, but we, the player, have seen things that they have not. So I'm still doubting.
証拠はまだあの ID カードと僕らの証言しかない。けど
慰霊碑にはあの子の名前がちゃんとあるのよ。それは何かのミスじゃないですか。 A1 東京総合病院のデータでは行方不明になっていたんですよね。けど私見たんだもの。私の目の前で千里は瓦礫に潰されて。
Wait, what? If that might change things. She must have been remembering something painful. She put her hands to her chest and her nails dug in deep. But then Arimura raised her eyebrows so high that I could see it from here.
クルス先輩。どうして嘘をつくんですか？
Oh. Wow. Yeah, don't pull that in front of Arimura.
え？
Shocked, I glanced at them from one to the other. Arimura was staring at Kurisu with suspicious eyes. But Kurisu's expression remained unchanged, to the point where it almost seemed unnatural.
クルス先輩の今の言葉は嘘です。
Arimura's power let her tell when someone was lying. In other words, Kurisu was absolutely lying right now. I said this before, Arimura herself could be lying about this, but I don't really have a reason to doubt her right now. But Kurisu looked Arimura dead in the eye as she spoke.
嘘なんかじゃないわ。いいえ、先輩は南沢千里が死んだところを見ていません。あなたの能力というのがどのくらい正確なのか私は知らない。けれど彼女はもうこの世にはいないわ。そう信じたいだけじゃないんですか？あるいは南沢千里が実は生きているのを知っているとか。
The two of them glared at each other.
もし仮に。はい。仮に千里が生き延びていたとしても、あの子に殺人なんてできるはずがない。
I mean, if she went insane through repeated medical experiments. Kurisu's voice took on a sorrowful note.
千里はとっても臆病な子だった。小さな虫を殺すこともできないくらい気が弱くて、何かあるとすぐに泣きべそをかいて、だからいつも誰かの後をついて回っていたわ。もちろん暴力なんて嫌いだったし、血を見るのすら苦手だった。そんな千里が猟奇殺人なんて、私にはどうしても納得がいかない。ありえないわ。
Well, you know what? I'll give you this. If she burns someone to death, she doesn't have to see blood.
どうやら今度は本当のことを言っているようですね。だから
Kurisu's voice was rarely this emotional, but she must have realized that nothing she said would matter, so she fell silent.
とにかく千里が犯人じゃないとしたら、タクルたちの憶測は完全に間違ってしまっているわ。真犯人が他にいたらどうする気なの？
それは。
Of course I'd thought about that possibility, that there might be multiple killers. Remember, I keep saying this, the prologue had people in it. That there might be another psychic working with Senri Minamisawa. And of course, obviously, there are the text conversations, right?
でもだとしても今日が終わるまでに誰も殺されなければ僕らの勝ち。
For now. Also, it drives me crazy that we're never asking Uki about the mysterious old woman who was always behind her, except for when we encountered her in the basement. Oh. Everyone leapt out of their chairs as we heard a scream from downstairs. Was that Yui's voice?
Yui!
She's not a psychic. She would not be in danger from Senri and probably not the real killers, so I don't know what this is. She probably saw something. Kurisu ran down the stairs. We followed right after her! Exclamation point. Yui had fallen backwards onto the ground near the front desk. Her face was pale and her jaw was chattering.
お姉ちゃん、ねえ、どうしたの？
This weird close-up, we're gonna see something when we pan out. Although, what's that behind Yui? Is that the stethoscope? Is the dad just right there?
ユイ、大丈夫か？ユイ。
Yes. Yuto and Dad grabbed her and held her tight, but she was still shaking. The terror had completely consumed her.
何があったの？ユイ。お姉ちゃん、しっかりしなさい。
Kurisu grabbed her by the cheeks and yelled. Grabbed her by the cheeks, ouch.
私、寝ようと思って、父さんにお休みの挨拶して。
おやすみなさい。父さんも無理しないでもう寝たら？
そう思うんだったら、ノノに意見しといてくれ。あいつのせいで余計な仕事が一つ増えたんだよ。
ノノ姉はタクル兄のことになると人が変わるから。
違いねえな。じゃ、おやすみ。
うん、おやすみ。それで、私、部屋へ戻ろうとして、診察室を出たんだけど、その時、玄関のドアから音が。
Oh, yeah?
ノックの音が。
Yeah, I haven't seen this gradient in some time. This is bad news.
私、休館の人かなって思って、それで返事をしたの。
Okay, now this is weird, because Yui is okay. So this means it was someone really scary who left? Or I'm thinking it's a dead body, or someone who dropped dead.
すみません、今日の診察は終わりなんです。休館でしたら夜間診療のある病院をご紹介しますけど。
Shockingly, it didn't do the dash thing where she was cut off. I thought it was gonna be, hello, we're, Wait, it's a regular knock?
どうなさいました？救急車呼んだ方がいいですか？一体何なんですか？いたずらならやめてください。だからやめてください。私、ものすごく怖くなって、だけど、外見たの。
Really? She just shows up and knocks on the door? But did she leave?
もう大丈夫。大丈夫よ、ユイ。
Wow, so after all that talk about getting ready to fight her if needed, she just shows up. Kurisu rubbed her head gently, and at last the dam burst and Yui started to cry. Everyone looked at each other, pale, as we listened to her sob. Arimura and I in particular had gone as deathly white as Yui. Knocking. That was the same thing I'd heard at the cafe. Yeah, but it wasn't the knock. I'm telling you, she's not the killer. She's maybe a killer.
やっぱり追いかけてきたんだ。
And even then, I don't know if we have any confirmed kills from her. She attempted to kill us the one time, but I don't know if she has any body count. I could feel my knees shaking. I remembered the knocking and the dragging footsteps I'd heard at the cafe, and my heart began to feel overwhelmed with terror. Yeah, but that was a vision. and that wasn't her knock, even though it was in the vision. I felt an impulse to run screaming off into the night, but strangely enough, it was Arimura who gave in before I did. She gritted her teeth so hard I could hear it from where I was standing, and then ran towards the front entrance.
Oi, Arimura!
She yanked open the lock on the door and then flung it open. Then she ran out into the street flailing her D-sword. That's gotta look really weird to random people. She kept swinging her D-sword at the shadows formed by the streetlights. That's gonna be tough though. Like, she has a sword, but Minami-sawa can throw fire. Like, she has to get over there. We at least have the psychic reflect ability. I grabbed Arimura from behind. She'd clearly gone insane. Her D-sword hadn't been real booted yet, so it just slid right through me. If it had been, I wouldn't have survived.
落ち着け。あいつは僕らがパニックになるのを狙ってるんだ。冷静にならなきゃ負けだ。なんでこんな目に遭わなきゃならないの。能力なんてなければよかった。こんなものさえなければ。
And that's the irony. This isn't happening to her. It's just wrong place, wrong time, twice. When I saw her, I realized that I'd been making a mistake. For a while now, I'd thought that I was starting to understand Arimura, but I was wrong. A bratty know-it-all. A normal girl who sometimes got excited and smiled a childlike smile. I was always surprised when she did, but I'd also told myself that that was who really was. Oof. I'd always told myself that that was who she really was. But I was wrong. She was a weak little girl whose fate was caught up in events far beyond her control. No one would have been killed, and no one would have been tortured in those experiments in that basement. Yeah, that's true. If it weren't for our powers, then, I was gonna say, well, that wouldn't have stopped the basement thing, but yeah, if nobody had powers, then yeah, it would have. I hated myself for ever being proud of my powers. Why did they even exist? Who gave me these, and why? Arimura's body was shaking as I held her, and pathetically enough, I was shaking every bit as much.
Oi, Miyashiro! Arimura!
Ito ran up to us as we sat on the side of the road. Sarika, Uki, and Kazuki ran after him.
大丈夫か?
なんとか落ち着いた。
I lied so as not to worry them.
それより部屋へ戻ろう。ここにいたら危ない。いつ襲われるか。
And then Ito cut me off and showed me his phone. I flinched away.
まさか、また正体不明の電話がかかってきたのか。
Ito must have guessed what I was thinking because he quickly shook his head.
違う。よく見ろ、宮代。
え?
I stared at the phone. It had the usual wallpaper, the usual apps. There was nothing out of the ordinary.
気がついたか?
尾上、お前のも見せてくれ。
Sarika took her phone out of her pocket and showed it to me. It showed the same thing that Ito's did. Oh, it's midnight, we're safe? Yeah, the present time and date? 12:03 a.m., October 24th. Whew. So is there a reason she showed up but then left? She showed up about at midnight? She's mad that she can't kill on the day, even though I don't think she's the killer? What is this? October 23rd was over. And if she really is not Senri after all, could she be Amy on the phone and she's just, trolling and biding her time?
助かったのか。
Arimura swung her head around and yanked the phone out of Sarika's hands. Her fingers were shaking too much to read what it said. She stared at it again and again, and then... The strength drained from her tiny body as she collapsed into me, and then she passed out. October 23rd, the day of the return of the New Generation Madness. And we'd survived it. But again, if we're doing this right, does that mean that someone died that we don't know about? Kazuki got into her usual gaming position and stretched. She was about to start playing ESO 2. I chuckled as I opened the lid of my lunchbox. Everything was returning to normal. Inside the lunchbox was a sandwich that Kursu had made for me. Morning had come. It was a Saturday, but it was the one day of the month we went to school on weekends. We'd gotten some sleep at Aoba Dorm, then taken showers and come to school. Imagine just going to school after that. Yui and Arimura still hadn't woken up, and were staying at Aoba Clinic. But neither of them seemed hurt, and Kursu and Uki were staying home to take care of them. For my part, I'd skipped out on morning classes to stop by the brain doctor that Dad had referred me to. The results had been the same as Dad had said, no abnormalities in the blood vessels in my brain. When I told Kursu over the phone, she sounded relieved. I wasn't feeling hungry, but I didn't want to let the sandwich go to waste. I took a little nibble of it as I stared at the board on the wall. Oh, was that the last one? That would be nice. The net had been in an uproar last night. No, it still was. Yeah, is everybody waiting for a kill that never happened? Because that would be interesting. But not because something had happened. In fact, the uproar was because nothing had happened. Wow! Well, there's a twist. I thought for sure it was going to be, what a relief. Oh no, some different person in town died. I checked a bunch of different places, TV, radio, and even the newspaper. I would have put a colon after places. But nothing happened on the 23rd that would make you think of the New Generation Madness. There were all kinds of rumors going around on the net. This included a weird conspiracy theory that the killer had been captured, but because he was the son of a major politician, they couldn't go public with it. But most people thought that the return of the New Generation Madness was over now that nothing had happened on the 23rd. Wow, what does over mean? I guess I better look it up. Net slang. What? Often used to refer to a game, anime, or news phenomenon that is past its prime and that no one pays attention to anymore. Okay, so it's a bit of a variation. It's also often used to refer to things that aren't actually finished, that still have passionate fans. It's a form of insult or harassment. That thing you like is over, it's irrelevant. Even though it's literally still relevant. Will killings continue? Maybe next year?
Oh, Miyashiro! 病院はもういいのか？
ああ、おかげさまで異常なしだってさ。
よかったね。
Ito and Sarika are both carrying lunchboxes of their own. Kursu had made their lunches this morning, just like she made mine.
けど、登校するなり部室に直行してランチとか、いいご身分だな、おい。
That is kinda nice.
授業は午後からでいいって言われたからさ。それにマップを見ながらいろいろ考えてみようと思って。
これ以上何もするなって今朝新庄さんに言われたろ。
When we told Shinjo that there had been another attack by the person we believed to be Senrimi Noesawa, he demanded to know why we hadn't told him sooner. And then he insisted that we never do anything so dangerous again.
でも考えるくらいならいいだろう。
Look at this board. I put the lid back on my lunch, having barely eaten any of it at all, and looked back at the map.
昨日僕たちはカフェラックスにいた。そこで事件が起こった。僕の前に現れたのは以前襲ってきたあの女だった。
Oh, we gotta choose. Which one is it, everybody? Which one is it? Okay, I don't want to misclick here. Select this. I love that. It was Senrimi Noesawa, of course.
そしてその能力は
I like that we take off the other post-its. It's not like we have a bunch of things to choose from. This goes here, that goes there. We just had 2 wrong options up, which is kind of funny. And she was A. Do you remember what these words mean, everybody? But it was a pyrokinetic.
ところがカフェラックスで僕を襲ったのはパイロキネシスじゃなく別の能力だった。それは
Could tell if I was lying. Yeah, I think we know that one already. She showed me a delusion of being alone, except no she didn't. Somebody else did. Read my mind and shared embarrassing secrets. That actually really sucks.
ってことはやっぱり南沢千里は一人で2つの能力を持ってるって推測が正しいのかな。
That would be a very interesting reveal, but I don't think so.
いや、まだ確証は持てない。別の能力者が協力している可能性を否定できないし。
それで襲われた時の緊張のせいでタクがまぶたの血管を切っちゃって結局みんなで青葉寮へ移動したんだよね。
That's right, but I really wish you'd stop saying that. I don't like reading that.
ああ、僕はそこで父さんの診察を受けて、その後みんなで23日が過ぎるのを待ってた。
What the hell? Oh, the 23rd. 2. They just missed a space.
そういえばさ、あの時副部長と有村なんか言い争いとかしてなかったか？なんだったっけ？
言い争い？
そういえば
It's back on the board. She didn't believe Senri was the killer. Yeah, I'm just reading the others. She got mad. Hina was using her powers too much. Probably got bothered, I'll admit, but didn't believe Senri was the killer.
そうそう、のんちゃんがね、南沢千里さんは絶対に犯人じゃないって言ったんだよ。
猟奇殺人なんてできる子じゃないって言ってたな。昔親友だったからわかるって。
でもさ、あの時に有村は副部長が嘘をついてるって指摘したんだよ。あれってどういうことだと思う？
確かあの時有村が嘘だと指摘したのは
It was a lie that... Yeah, she saw her die in the earthquake.
思い出した。クレスは南沢千里が目の前で死ぬのを見たって言ったんだけど、それが嘘だったんだ。つまり死んだところを見てない。
きっとのんちゃんはね、親友だった子が犯人扱いされてるのが許せなかったんだよ。それでとっさに嘘をついちゃったんだと思うんだ。
That could be true, but I'm wondering... This might be giving a little too much credit, but I'm wondering if she's actively trying to convince herself. That's why she got all offended when she was called out on lying.
まあ確かに副部長の気持ちになってみりゃな。
そうだな。やっぱり南沢千里の話題はクリスがいるときは少し気を使った方がいいな。
The voiceover is so quiet during the thoughts, it's like we almost don't need it. I stuck a paper up on the board.
そして問題はその後か。
あ
あ。青葉委員の1階でユイが
ドアがノックされるのを聞いたんだよね。
Imagine just seeing that just right across the door, like ready to kill whoever she comes in contact with. It was the same thing I'd heard at the Cafe Lax, that woman's knock. Like, again, I don't know if we actually heard the knock from downstairs. It was just Yui talking about it, but that was not the same knock. and Yui had seen a terrifying sight.
僕でさえカフェであれだけ恐怖したんだ。何も知らないユイはさぞかし怖かっただろうな。
かわいそう。
Fortunately, Yui didn't open the door. She'd quickly shut and locked it, and saved us at the last minute. Yeah, but again, the pyrokinetic was just like, well, guess I'll leave. Like, what was that? But if she'd opened the door all the way...
いや、待てよ。
I looked up from the map toward the ceiling. Something seemed very wrong.
どうしたのタク。
なんか思い出したのか。
Sarika and Itsuo looked at me, confused.
いや、なんか引っかかった。ものすごく大変なことを見落としてる気がする。
Even Kazuki was surprised enough that she turned away from ESO2 to look at me.
大変なこと？
ああ、昨夜はいろんなことがあって、有村がパニクったり、僕も気が動転してて気づかなかったけど。
That's right. What was I just thinking now? If Yui had opened the door...
当然、これまでの事件から考えれば、ユイも被害者だ。でも、それってつまり。
What, that Yui's a psychic? I looked at the map again.
前にも話したけど、今回の事件には一つ明らかに共通する特徴があったよな。
って言うと？
それは被害者だ。最初の事件、こっちみんな。被害者とその特徴は、次は音漏れタン。被害者とその特徴は、
Just spit it out, dude.
僕が目撃した回転デッド。被害者とその特徴は、そして学園祭で起きたごっつぁんです。被害者とその特徴は、そう、事件のターゲットになっている被害者は全員能力者だ。それ以外は襲われていない。
Yeah, like, I'm just imagining if Senri came in, would she have just awkwardly pushed Yui out of the way? Like, you're not who I'm here for. Just knocks over a kid and then comes upstairs.
だからこそ、僕や有村山添はずっと警戒していたわけだし、事実、カフェラックスでは僕がターゲットにされた。でも、アウバ寮に現れた南沢千里が襲撃しようとしたのは、
Well, no, she didn't. I really gotta choose, but she didn't try to attack Yui. It was just the one who was gonna answer the door. I'm telling you, it was me or Sarika.
そう、ユイだ。
So either Yui's a psychic, or she's the one who answered the door. Like, Senri can't control who enters the door. I stood up in shock.
まさか、そんな。
ゆいちゃんもってこと？
マジかよ。
It was far too late for it to make a difference now, but I suddenly felt like a cold pillar of ice was pressed against my back. I was certain that Senri Minamisawa had come to Aoba Clinic in search of me, Arimura Aruki. But yeah, Yui didn't answer the door and she left. Like, we're really reaching for this one, I have to admit. And that Yui had only been caught up in it at all because she was unlucky enough to answer the door. But what if I was wrong? What if there was a reason she was after Yui? I sighed. It was hard for me to really believe.
これから確かめてくる。あいつが本当に能力者なのかどうか。
Huh. Well, we're back at home. I guess forget about afternoon classes. But for now, it is time to stop the installment. Well, we certainly made a lot of progress today, didn't we? We went back to Aoba. Everything worked out nicely. But then Senri showed up at the door, which is crazy. And now we think that she was going to attack Yui and Yui might be psychic. Again, it was the wrong knock and nothing happened to Yui except that she got really scared. I'm thinking we're going in a wrong direction here, but hey, you know what? You never know. Until next time, everyone.